Would you vote for that guy?
I would, and I'd like to hang out with them and have a good time with them.
Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come.
This or that. This or that. This or that.
Come on, who's the black sheep? What's the black sheep? Know not who I am or when I'm coming, so you sleep. Wasn't in my realm or wasn't in your sphere. Knew not who I was, but listen here. The choice is yours.
You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. I think you get with this because this is kind of fat.
Where's the black sheep? Here's the black sheep. Even if we wanted to, the clock cannot be weak. Watch me swing like this. Why should I swing it like that? Because in fact, on me it might not attract.
This or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. I think you get with this because this is where it's at. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. I think you get with this because this is kind of fat.
Do, da, dippity. Come on.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. It's Black Sheep Rising, episode 69. Woo! Woohoo! And not a single girl on the show. We really messed up. I really need someone.
I told you weren't good at math.
Yeah, I know. The math is all messed up. And there's a dog
and you
over
thought
there.
I said meth, and then that just...
You got me confused, and I went straight to the
Yeah.
bathroom to check on all the plumbing.
Yo,
in there.
bitch, let's cook.
Let's cook some meth.
You
So-
learned reading, writing, and meth.
So, it's Black Sheep Rising, and let me introduce the full panel. We got the whole round table going on here. My name is Conan Soliday, and of course, Daryl W. Perry is back in the house. What's up? Free Rock is here,
Hey.
host of Cop Block Radio
Yep.
every Wednesday. And hey, look who's back. It's Lex Luthor.
I randomly show up. Justin X, what's up?
Justin X is here. Hasn't been on since 40 episodes or so. Last time we was on, we were talking about paint, lead paint. We were talking about toe sucking, the whole nine, and he just couldn't.
Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
I approve of toe sucking while watching Game of Thrones.
he couldn't stay away. He's-
Adamantly opposed to that. Just
I
on the
wasn't aware.
record,
I wasn't
on the
aware
record.
that your Tough Mudder, marathon running, ping pong playing, wrestling girl that you date still lived here in Keene. I thought you guys either separated or you went off together. So that's
No, I mean she goes to school here, so she's going
that'll-
for her doctorate. So So yes, I'm back and forth. I come back here regularly. I just unfortunately
you can go with
she
this
takes
or you
all
can
my-
go with that.
Yeah,
Where do you get a doctorate in Keene?
Antioch?
go.
Oh, since when the hell was that here?
The Green College.
Oh, that's relatively new.
It is a green college, so I've had many discussions about global warming and the carbon bullshit. But yeah,
I saw one of the best bumper stickers yesterday about global warming. It said,
Goddamn
when
hippies.
in the history of the planet has the climate not changed?
well, that's what I mean. It was
And that's why they changed it to human controlled climate change.
when Al Gore started out. It was global warming, and
Man,
then now
you
it's
mean-
climate change because that's been debunked. But of course, we're living in a dynamic system, not a static system. So obviously, the climate is always changing. So that's just it's not a misnomer, but it's it's just stating the obvious. Climate change. Well,
And
course,
not
we're
to,
probably
and
not
not to
helping
mention
things.
it gives all of the religion hating liberals a religion to follow, which it's the new science. It's the
Very-
new liberal religion where they can all gather their forces together and have something to bitch and complain about and have faith in something. Because we're humans. I really do believe that there are certain folks who kind of get off on the whole idea of putting faith into things and not relying on all this logic and reason at the end of the day.
but science is a religion too.
That's what I mean.
So
But that's how, because a lot of these guys don't know the facts. They just know that Man Bear Pig told them so, and they saw that movie and fucking what's his face? DiCaprio was who was it? Yeah,
Al Gore, I
DiCaprio.
used to be the next president of the United States of America.
and by now the ice caps would already be melted, and we'd just have a blue sea.
and there would be no more penguins, and the polar bears would be completely eliminated
They'd
from
be
the face of the
drowning
earth,
in the water. Yes.
swimming from ice cap to ice cap.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Of course, we have put a shitload of toxins into the air that weren't.
Oh, yeah,
there
no doubt.
beforehand.
Yeah, no doubt,
It's
but-
like lead is at like 400 times the level it was before we started
but everyone
gasoline
everyone
burning
forgets about the Industrial Revolution when we were essentially China, and we were pumping so
Right.
much smoke into the atmosphere. It was everywhere was black. I mean, we seriously. I have never seen a more cleaner environment. It's so clean here in New Hampshire, and yet everyone's bitching and complaining about all the wood smoke. They're trying to outlaw yard fires.
Yeah, I don't give a
that's
shit
just-
about wood smoke.
That's just because they want to literally dictate every aspect of your life. But yes, there are real environmental issues that we need to deal with. Fukushima,
Yeah.
pumping radioactive, isotopes all over the northern hemisphere as well as the world. And then, they never bring up the BP oil spill. So right now the Earth is bleeding oil into the Gulf, which affected the North Atlantic current. I would think that has something to do with climate change too, because the currents are changing because of that whole incident. But no, we need to not use. We need to use chlorofluoro. What are those light bulbs called? We need to use those weird light bulbs.
CFL light bulbs.
Light bulbs, and we all need to not fart. And and
I use
carbon
LED light bulbs.
Yeah.
No, it's cattle that are really doing all the farting, and we didn't need in meat production in this country and China and everywhere else that are grown cows growing them.
Right, but if you drop one of those light bulbs, they need a hazmat team to come out and clean it up because there's literally mercury, gas. in
LED.
those things. Yeah.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Now that LED is affordable, that was the big pain in the ass for a long time.
I'm actually changing out right now. I mean, the two lights in here are both not LEDs. Are the other one, the squigglies.
CFLs.
Yeah, and I don't know. I as long as they don't die in the next 6 months. Well, I guess they will. They're supposed to last a little bit longer.
Then incandescents.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I switched
But it's the whole energy consumption. I mean, the light bill has already gone down. I mean, I'm
Right.
$30 cheaper this month than I was last month.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me when I switched out. I moved into a new house, and everything was incandescents.
Mm-hmm.
This is 3 years ago. And then when I moved, I was on that for maybe 2 months, and then I switched all my light bulbs out to CFLs, and my power bill went down $40 a month. So it's
But dude, they have a
works.
weird glow.
I've never
My
kn-
mom switched the light bulbs out. I went to her house and it was down the hallway. There's it almost looked like she was in some weird experimental lab. There's just this.
Well,
weird
they have
glow
different
coming
shades.
out.
If you go to Home Depot right now, they have 4 different shades.
Right.
And they have a little demo set up there, so you can actually put your hand up in there and you can see what a bright sunlight
right.
looks versus a warm kind of the same color as the incandescents.
Right. So
it's called full spectrum.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, yeah, it's not even really full spectrum. It's kind of you really have to just go by the color temperature, and the 2700s are going to be pretty orange, and I always go with the daylight bulbs, which are 5000 or 5600 K. I like the pure white, the daylight bulbs, than over the.
What about
orangey things.
what about pure white?
You, sir, are a racist.
Go easy, man.
They're kind of blue. They look blue if you have one. If you have.
Oh, so now you're into blue people now.
Yeah, it's blue.
You're an old Avatar.
That was one
freak.
thing I learned in film school
Guys
too.
are all
I didn't realize that. You figure the sunlight outside is actually more orange because the sun looks orange, but if you ever looked at a
What the fuck are you smoking that the sun looks orange?
It's
It's
yellowish.
a big fucking yellow ball of fire
Okay,
up in the fucking
so it'd be
sky.
kind of like yellowish orange. But if you hold a piece of white paper out in the sun and you look at it, it is slightly blue.
Yeah. Slightly blue.
Well, see, here's the thing about these bulbs, and actually in Canada they did a study, and it was on their news. It gives off dirty electricity. So,
I mean, what it bleeds? It got a.
well, no, what these bulbs give off is it's like a dirty electricity.
The CFLs
The
or
CFLs, yes. So what they do is it gives off this dirty electricity that messes with your aura, your
You may have to define what the
electromagnetic
fuck you're
fields.
talking about.
is that why Daryl's always pissed off when he gets here to
See,
the studio because of the lighting?
Because of the short
Head.
notice that I had to be here tonight, this was kind of random. I didn't bring all my I didn't bring my research cabinet with me with all the file drawers and all the documents that I have.
Hold on, I
this
got
stuff-
one.
The Clockwork Elves, all of it. I shouldn't even get into it.
There you go.
Your filing cabinet. Is it on wheels at least so you can pull it
Yes.
around with you?
Well, what I find funny is like people like me, like conspiracy guys, like we always have to carry around file cabinets of it. But like the news, everyone just accepts it. Like, oh, that's just the truth. But I'm supposed to.
Fucking polar bears, man. They're
And the thing is, even if I do, they still don't want to believe it because now they're faced with the truth and they'd rather ignore it. But anyways, like so.
because
this was done-
because authority figures told them, or their favorite rock band, or
Well, no.
he's someone that they have respect for. Told, who are you? You're just some guy.
if
Who?
you're
What the
faced-
hell do you know?
If you're faced with the truth, now you have to deal with it. Now you have to do something about it. Most people don't want to do anything about it. They'd rather just sit home and watch TV and play video games. So that's that. But that's the reality. So like I could sit here, I could bring all my file cabinets in with all the government documents and all this stuff and show you guys, and we could sit down and read for hours, and then you guys would still call me full of shit. So, but anyways, the point is, like I said, this was done. There's like on the news in Canada. There's Canadian studies. They had it on the news. It's called dirty electricity. These bulbs give off. It messes with your aura. It messes with your immune system. It messes just with your whole electrical
Hold on,
body.
define aura.
So you're saying that's just that? I mean, you don't know anything about the aura, about your.
So it's kind
Well,
of.
I don't. Aura is usually a bullshit term, so I'm curious what aura
What do you
we're
mean,
talking
a
about.
bullshit term.
It's
What do
like
you-
some supernatural
It's not
thing that
supernatural.
nobody
It's like,
actually can
you give off-
display that it shows.
all right.
What
This
he's
is gonna be
trying
an interesting
what
night,
he's
so.
what he's trying to say is
I need some goddamn scientific proof.
it is kind of a hippie thing. I mean, but I it's like the whole faith thing. But as far as auras are concerned, I mean, it's not scientific.
Maybe it screws with your psyche or
But-
something.
But it is. I mean, there are scientific studies that prove the aura, but you probably look at them and say bullshit. So you know what I mean? Like, it's
Well, you
all
need to
relative.
define aura here. What the fuck are we talking about aura?
Like, is it
Look,
what is it? Energy?
look,
Is the energy
It's
just coming
like-
off of you or
it's just
something, or
like
is
when
it?
you walk
is
past
it? Is
the
it?
radio? It's just like when you walk past the radio and like the radio has good reception. You walk by it and it like gets fuzzy for a second, and then it goes by. Like you're constantly giving off an electromagnetic frequency. I mean,
So it's the energy coming off of you, and
Yes.
so it's not like your
We're all
attitude.
doing it. I mean, you've never noticed that? Like, you've never walked in front of radio and it got fuzzy, or the radio is fuzzy and you walked by it and all of a sudden the reception got better? Have you ever experienced that?
Well, yeah, but that's
But I thought it's because you're like you're an antenna.
Aura. That's a kind of
but I'm saying it
a
also-
catch-all term.
No, but it ties into that. Like, like we're electromagnetic beings. So an aura would be like when people that supposedly can see, there's colors that are aligned with that coincide with that. And it's just like when people are mad, red, you see red. This all goes, you know, this
I thought it was like more blood is rushing to your eyes, and that's why you see red, because you're all amped up.
I've never experienced this. So.
You've never seen all red?
because it's an energy, it's a frequency, it's a vibration. Now, this stuff is actually proven in science, but, you know, like, people want to like, oh, it's bullshit. It's like not, you know. So, these light bulbs give off a dirty electricity. And they also, you know, again, now Alex Jones has talked about it. I know you guys all love Alex Jones, but.
Does he talk about the aura thing?
Well, no, but he talks about this study was done in Canada, so he's talked about that, but he's also talked about there are supposedly like light bulbs that are in government buildings that have a flicker rate that like
What keeps them like sheeped out?
yeah, like it like hypnotizes, and it's like in government documents. It's not like again, this is one thing about Alex, like he does go off government documents. The weird stuff like reptilians and all this stuff that I have no problem getting into. Come on, he won't get into that stuff. He will actually only go off what can be proven. So, you know, say what you want about him. I mean, he goes off it's in the public realm. So, you know, if you want to write him off and whatever, yeah, he's an angry guy and yeah, whatever, dude. But it's in the public realm. It's all there. So,
Daryl, speaking of craziness, who is this guy we're looking at right here on the old screen? With
that is
He looks like some young raver, some young hip raver.
He's fucking hot.
that's
Who is that guy?
Skeletor.
This guy?
Yeah, that's Skeletor.
Oh yeah, you know. And speaking of Skeletor, I definitely want to have him on the show. I saw some. I want to talk to his low carb thing. I think it's very. I think it's great to see. You know, he put his foot down. He says, "I'm going to do this low carb thing." You know, he exercises a little bit. He does his Robin Hood. He walks around. By the way, we're talking about James Cleveland.
But
The
I've
guy
seen
came in here. He was 40 pounds heavier, and he just said, "You know what? No more. I'm tired of this shit." And he put his foot down, and look at the guy. I mean, he's.
But he never has any energy.
I've witnessed numerous people out here, Mandrick, Boner Joe. I mean, I've witnessed numerous people that have lost tons of weight on that diet. So there's something to it. Because James, I hadn't seen him in months.
Yeah.
I was like, "Who are you? What did you do with James?"
Good point though. I mean, carbs do provide a whole shit ton of energy. That
he also eats no sugar. He will not eat fruit because fruit has sugar in it.
That's the one thing I disagree with.
So that's why he has no energy.
I see him. He's walking around. He looks good to me. I don't see him with no. I don't see him
look good. But
he looks fucking hot. That guy, look at him. Look at him. The backpack and the walkie-talkie.
hold on.
Not having any energy does not have anything to do with whether or not.
I've never seen him looking like he doesn't have any energy, like he's falling over, all pale, about to pass out. And he looks.
He's almost always talking about I have no energy.
All right. Well, maybe he needs to. Sorry. All right. So he's still working on his diet. Maybe he just needs to level out a little bit.
But still, all it comes down to is calories in, calories out. That's it.
Yeah, and as far as
when you go low carb, you're cutting out a lot of the calorie dense foods.
a lot of the sugars and stuff. A lot of
a lot of sugars.
Empty calories, though.
What?
Empty calories. I mean, there's no nutrients.
I thought you said anti-calories.
No,
What the fuck is an anti-calorie?
Anti-calories.
That's when you eat pasta and then anti-pasta, and then it's like you never had lunch.
It's a black hole that sucks all your fat.
I never ate lunch.
It cancels everything out. But yeah, I mean, really, all it is in the end is calories in, calories out. But you are eating way less calorie dense stuff when you cut out a lot of the carb stuff. But in the end, if you dried it all out, you still would come out to the same, Yeah,
I think he's still in the process of losing weight, and I think by the time he gets to where he's happy, he can start working on actually providing more energy. Because I've tried it before. I've had those days where he's I can't pull this. I can't pull this weight behind me because I didn't drink enough sugar today. I didn't drink enough juice.
Yeah, so the reason we have him up on the screen is
because he's hot.
The haters put out a piece, James Cleveland's campaign platform, YOLO swag 420 blaze it!
Pretty sure he clipped on that.
They forgot hashtag. I'm just going to throw that out there. It should just be hashtag YOLO swag 420 blaze it with no spaces. Is one big giant hashtag.
You're speaking gibberish to me. I don't know what.
Okay,
it's
so
didn't understand the words
it's
you
all
said.
Twitter stuff.
YOLO, it's not just a yogurt shop in downtown Keene.
You only live once.
Right. It's
the excuse to do something stupid if you say it before you do something stupid.
Right.
Basically, it's the people that never took Latin. It's their version of Carpe Diem, but they say it before they do stupid shit. I've seen videos.
The Common Core version of Carpe Diem.
I've seen videos where somebody has all of the treadmills on in a gym, and then they just yell YOLO and try to run across all of them.
Perpendicular to them.
And it's like, why? Oh, and you fell and cracked your head on the third one.
You're too loud, man. Is this where YOLO came from?
No, that's yodel. That's something totally different.
And then what? He swan dived off the mountain. Is that what the guy did?
Right into a little pool.
The haters who don't like being called haters say, in an effort to be down with the kids, Robin Hood founder, Free Keene member, and accountant James Cleveland has been canvassing the neighborhoods around Keene State College with these unintentionally hilarious attempts at pandering, here's a hint. It's not unintentional. He knew what he was doing.
I mean, look at the goddamn
He
flyer.
looks hip. He looks hip. Look at him, dude. God, I would.
Hold on,
wanna
hold on.
vote
We're playing the wrong. There we go.
He's speaking to me.
I think the flyers are very colorful. They're very attractive, and there's a very
Okay, I'll say this.
How does the aura of this picture feel to you, X?
I'll say this: the critique. Come on, are you telling me he's not trying to do that? Are you telling me he's not trying to appeal to the younger crowd?
That's exactly what he was trying to do.
Right. So that's
why
actually
it's not
an accurate,
unintentional.
Right. So, agreed. And look how hip he looks. God damn, dude. That
So
guy
the
is so
question,
Would you vote for that guy?
I would, and I'd like to hang out with him and have a good time with him.
the question
Well, no, but
will
he
be.
doesn't have energy to hang out. I mean, he goes to sleep. He goes to sleep at 8:30 on Friday.
I'll feed him
he's all tuckered out,
I'll
man.
give him an apple and then we're partying.
He works like 12 hours a day, so it doesn't. No.
Okay, oh yeah, and
Well-
he's an accountant, of course.
He counts things.
He has a legitimate job, which
Yeah, I know. And
for some reason everybody thinks we don't have jobs.
Yeah.
all four of us have jobs here. We happen
Yeah.
to be. I guess we're the weirdos of the group. So
So it's going to be interesting to see how many of the college students wind up showing up to vote. The voter turnout in Ward 1 is traditionally very low.
where the college guys
It's
live.
even lower during the primary.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be interesting. 2 years ago, which was the last state rep election, the number of people that voted for a state rep candidate in Ward 1 was less than the number of signatures that a minor party candidate would have needed. There were like 146 people that voted for state rep in Ward 1 last election.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting.
We'll see. It's on Tuesday.
And the person that's running against James has done, I think, zero campaigning.
Yeah, it's just a paper ballot.
So it's going to be interesting to see if James winds up beating this basically paper candidate.
Yeah. Tuesday, I guess this probably won't be out. This won't be out by then. But and I also will be part of that primary. I'm running against two.
We'll wind up, like having some notation in the notes of the vodcast.
I'm running against two other Democrats. Both of them are incumbents. One of them is a lifetime incumbent. The other one is a one-termer. I got some signs, some all-purpose signs that I can use in other campaigns that I haven't received yet because I ordered them way too late.
Signs everywhere.
But,
signs.
Yeah,
Blocking out
we'll
the
see what
fever,
happens.
Breaking my mind.
Actually, whenever we ran school board, he mentioned that we might have given him a run for his money because he is the most conservative of the liberals he hangs with, and so he's at the end of the list. So here, we get all these these liberty-minded folk. The three of us, Ian, Daryl, and I ran, and we made it hard on him. We stole some of his votes, if you will. So
that's the claim anyway.
So
that's assuming if you buy the theory that votes belong to a certain candidate, and then anyone that is not the chosen candidate has stolen votes.
Yeah, and on top of that, you have this whole this DR thing, which is prevalent throughout the country, which is a huge problem. You have people who've been voting D's or R's their entire lives because their parents voted that way. They don't fucking know anything about anything.
The straight ticket.
They
crap.
just walk up, they go in the booth, and they see D's or R's, D's or R's, D's or R's, and that's how they vote. And it's horrible.
I was a young kid when Ross Perot was out there, but I'll tell you what, I liked Ross Perot. I remember seeing the debates with him and Clinton and Bush, and like, this guy's actually speaking some sense, but he stole votes from Bush.
Yeah.
And that's how Clinton got to be the president. Supposedly.
That's the claim.
Supposedly.
If you look at the exit polls that were done, the people that voted for Perot were almost even in having said, if he wasn't in the race, I would have voted Democrat or Republican. It was almost even. And if anything, he took more votes away from Clinton than from Bush. But, exit polls and statistics and facts don't really get in the way of people when they talk emotional of, it's Ross Perot's fault that Bill Clinton was president. No, it's George fucking Bush's fault that Bill Clinton was president. George Bush sucked as a fucking president.
And look what Ross Perot said during those debates, the whole giant sucking sound from the whole NAFTA argument. Look, it's what they were arguing about back then should be, to anyone who's paying attention, should be completely relevant right now. You should be able to see that NAFTA and GATT and all these treaties or whatever the fuck they are, it took jobs out of the country.
What was he sucking?
I drink your milkshake.
That's exactly what they're drinking. My milkshake is gone.
I was
wanna know
9
where
when
it
those
is.
debates happened, so I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that crap.
Milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
I was like a freshman in high school. I was pretty young.
I didn't see
And then the police show up and say, do you have a permit for that milkshake stand? And then you get arrested.
I'm missing my milkshake right now.
What? So that is going on in Keene. That'll be on Tuesday. Daryl, what else is happening here in good old Keene, New Hampshire?
Well, Terry Clark,
who is
a few weeks ago,
Product placement.
he wound up submitting a proposal to the city council agenda.
Terry Clark, who is a council member.
Yes. He is also the council member who requested the reconsideration vote on the Bearcat some 2 years ago. Actually, about 2.5 years ago. And so he requested that the Bearcat be sent back to the appropriate government agency.
Now, what other municipality has already done this?
Davis, California. They did not have a Bearcat. They had an MRAP, which is a mine-resistant, armor-protected vehicle.
A meerkat.
No, not a meerkat, you deaf son of a bitch. An MRAP.
I fucking heard you.
Basically the same
But meerkat
thing.
is
It's
so
an
much cuter.
It's an armored military.
If we can have a Bearcat, then they can have a meerkat.
The MRAP came from the Pentagon as part of the 1033 program. And that's the one that, after Ferguson, has been getting a lot of attention because, $4.3 billion worth of military equipment.
I have two words for you. Predator drones.
It has been pushed onto state and local law enforcement. I don't think any Predator drones have been yet.
But they did ask during the 2010 census, they asked for everybody, or the people that came, they all took everyone's GPS coordinates. That's for the drones. Just to let everybody know. That's why they took everyone's...
The camera drones, but we don't have the missile dropping drones
When they came to
yet.
ask for your... they all took everybody's GPS coordinates at everybody's
If
house.
one of the census takers had to show up to your house,
they would take your GPS coordinates, and that was for the drones, just to let everybody know.
What's the point? It's already on Google Maps, so what the fuck? That's a pointless endeavor.
Yeah,
it's already out there.
But they still did it, though.
X
Why
isn't-
would they do it?
Yeah,
Why
but
would they do it?
X isn't out there.
What?
He's removed himself from the system.
the only legitimate
That's near
purpose...
impossible. It's
The
very
only legitimate purpose I could see
And I'm on the show, so...
for having somebody, that's out supposed to be going, door to door, clicking some button to show where they are, is so that a supervisor can know whether or not they're actually doing their fucking job instead of just, going sitting in a park and fudging numbers.
If that's what gets you to sleep at night, that's great. But
No, I said that's the only legitimate purpose I could imagine. I didn't say that's what it was.
Right, okay.
Yeah, if they were my workers, I'd have cameras on them as well, and their GPS
the point
coordinates.
is, why else would they do it? They're doing it because what takes GPS coordinates? Drones. I'm sorry.
Everything.
If you're a dissident, they can we're moving regardless of what people want to think. We are moving into the time. Not even just moving. We're already at the time where they'll drone you if you mess around. they
Yes.
Has anyone
they
been?
will
And Rand Paul
ruin
would
you.
support it if you had $50 of firearm and you walked near a fucking liquor store.
And it's not to scare people. I mean, this is just the reality. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like right now they're trying to vilify people like the Free State Project.
Liberty-minded
Already,
folks.
supposedly, some guy in California wanted to fight for jihad because of the live free or die. The New Hampshire state motto inspired him to go fight for jihad. It's like wacky as that sounds.
If you listen to the old ISIS argument now, the new bad guys. You know, they're one of their big arguments is these guys are from everywhere. They're from every country,
Right.
and they all have passports.
Right.
So I mean, they're trying to they're
they're
no longer from the Middle East. Now they're all these Americans. And by the way, the Americans that are being killed that they're talking about in the news were killed off in like 2009 and shit. So it's old news. So I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with you on that front.
It's not fear mongering. It's just people need to be aware of this stuff. It's going on. Look at this is how these people think. These people are extremely intelligent. They think of every angle, and to be naive and just traipse in and just think just because you have the moral argument, you can go to court and argue on the way things should be, but look, this is the way things are. So. But I'm sorry to get off topic. I just, we got on the topic.
Well, all right. So he brought this up. You mentioned this. You talked to him about this just recently, and you brought up Ferguson and Davis.
Yes.
And the only reason he even brought this up to the city council is because of all of the backflack that Keene is receiving.
The bad publicity that Keene has received.
You know, Comedy Central loves to talk about Keene, New Hampshire, and how stupid our politicians are with this whole militarizing.
Here's a Bearcat to protect the pumpkins.
So that's why he brought it up. He didn't actually bring it up for a good reason, which is,
right.
Why does our
the
police
paperwork before all this shit went down?
Yeah, why does our police force need to be militarized? Why do we need snipers at fucking Pumpkin Fest?
The same reason they're taking your GPS coordinates at your house.
He didn't submit this before Ferguson.
Take it to its logical
You submitted before
conclusion.
Davis.
If you listen to talk radio here in Keene in the mornings, and you get these fuckers on in the morning, you hear them. They'll be hinting at shit like domestic terrorism. They are really, really fearful. They really seriously go to bed at night fearful of domestic terrorists here in Keene, New Hampshire, bombing Pumpkin Fest or killing off the mayor or some weird shit. Just whatever they're thinking about. They're fearful, and the question is, where's this coming from? Are they the instigators? Are they doing it because they want more money, they want more grants, or because someone is feeding them? They're feeding off of the fear mongers.
Well, that's just like
whatever news program they watch at night.
Didn't the company who has the Bearcat basically filled out the form for them?
I don't know about that. I know that
they do have
Mayola,
on their website. If you need help filling out the grant, contact us. And then they've got a contact form for how to get in touch with somebody from the company to help you fill out the grant.
Right.
I don't know if that happened here in Keene. I had requested all of the documentation and was told none exists.
None of us are gun nuts. I mean, I'm not afraid of them. I fire. All rifles.
What's
handguns.
a gun nut?
A gun nut is someone who has 50 guns in their house, and they're always only 50.
I only have 40.
And they're always looking for good deals on ammunition because they're going through it all the time, which I don't have a problem with. But that's the way I see a lot of the people who are in law enforcement. I think that at the end of the day, they're sitting there twiddling their thumbs. They're looking through fucking military magazines, and they see all this great technology that the military guys are driving around. And a lot of these guys are previous military.
That's the biggest problem.
And all of a sudden, and something comes across their desk, free Bearcat. They're like, oh well, fuck, I've got to have that. It's the whole Pokemon syndrome, except it's fucking bigger equipment. It's fucking
right.
It's rifles and it's goddamn machinery.
See, and
so if it's free, I mean, sure they're gonna try every angle to get this big piece of weapon. Maybe their penises are small. I don't fucking know what the deal is. But at the end of the day, they've got to have this big technology.
That only goes so far, like in my opinion, that the whole dumb bureaucrat, the stupid cop who wants, I'm not saying that stuff doesn't go on, but if you can't, to me, in my opinion, if you can't take it to the next level where this is calculated, I mean, if you're going to control a population, and I mean, you have to.
I don't think any of that is. I don't think that's existed at our level. I don't think the police chief and I don't think the mayor. I don't think they're in that. I don't think they are in that level.
But they can be told, if they can be whispered from above and tell.
That's what I'm talking about.
Told what's coming, and you need to protect. They're only looking out for their butts.
That's why I brought up the fear mongers.
So they brought the Bearcat in because they know there's going to be a time when the dollar crashes. They know there's going to be a time when this stuff coming. And look at what happened when the EBT, they shut off the EBT for like, it was like glitch in the EBT
for a couple of hours, and then Walmart. It pretty much shut a Walmart down.
It was a total accident, right? And look what happened with just those few hours. There was like. People were like rioting and all this like discontent.
I don't know about riots, but they shut down a Walmart.
Right.
They pretty much shut down a grocery and all the food that had been thrown away after that.
Because they did it in a small controlled thing. But look, when you do that widespread, I'm telling you, it's gonna be, and they know this is coming because it is coming.
All right. Well, here's the way I look at it. I think that the police chief that filed for this grant, I think he's a gun nut Pokemon collector. He just wanted a tank. And I think that the mayor and a lot of the city council, I think they've been feeding on this fear mongering for so long that they actually fear some crazy nut coming to Pumpkin Fest and blowing himself up. And why do they think that way? Because of whatever news program they're watching is feeding it into them, is telling them every single evening on the news that this is possible and that you guys have to watch it because ISIS could come to New Hampshire.
This is the culture.
But I don't think that they actually fear the way that you fear, that they need to control the public. At the end of the day, when some incident happens, like EBT shuts down, and then all of a sudden people are at Walmart tearing the fucking building apart.
Well, remember the story I told you at at the Social Sundays tonight about my friend. Like when you are caught up in that fear, that vibration,
it's contagious.
Of fear, it's contagious, and you don't think rationally. So there's that level of it too. I'm saying when you take it to the higher levels, I mean, it's calculated. They're controlling the fear because this is how you control populations, is through fear. So on the lower levels, you're right. It's just
So anyway, on Thursday, the city council had on their agenda this
that
letter.
Was not actually publicized anywhere and was definitely not in the Sentinel.
Was it on the agenda?
It was on the agenda.
That's it. The agenda that was released 2 days ahead of time.
Which no one reads.
That's it. Right.
Few people read.
So it wasn't in the Sentinel or anything. At least they had. All right. Well, it was in the Sentinel afterwards.
After the fact, there was no mention of it beforehand, and like the agenda is only put out 2 days beforehand. Right. It was on Free Keene, but it was not on the Sentinel or anything like that.
Well, all right. So the Sentinel wrote an article afterwards, and Daryl wrote a very well put together editorial or a letter to the editor that was in a couple days later.
That was in the Sentinel today.
Right.
And this letter has also been submitted to the mayor and city council, and it will be on the agenda in 2 weeks.
Good. People at home listening, check out freekeen.com. Check out Daryl's letter to the editor. It's very well done. It brings up some good points. It talks about Ferguson, talks about Davis, and it talks about the silliness behind these silly guys. And this isn't over.
And the thing that really strikes me is that the correspondence from Terry Clark asked the city council to withdraw from the Homeland Security grant and returned the Bearcat to the appropriate government agency. And it was taken as informational.
Now, so he he proposed an action. He's a city council guy. He knows how this works. He's not new on the block. He knows how this works.
Right.
And instead of actually voting on whether we should take an action on this, the mayor, which I didn't know that he had this power, and I don't know that he does have this power.
He does, because he's the chairman of the.
He just got to change the wording to know we're not going to take this in action. We're going to take it as advisory.
The wording of the letter was not changed. So it's sort of like when legislation gets introduced into the state house. And the bill says, we are going to do blah, blah, blah. And then the committee says, we're going to say that this is inexpedient to legislate. That's basically what the mayor did, was said, this is inexpedient to legislate. Everybody in favor, although he didn't say everybody in favor, because he was just, no, informational, i.e. inexpedient to legislate.
And so the question is...
And so Terry Clark then said, I wish to have this as an agenda item that we vote on with an action. And the mayor was like, nope, you guys can vote to overrule my decision. And so then only 3 people supported going against the mayor because 12 members of the city council have no fucking balls. 0.
Well, some of them don't have balls, but yeah, you're right. It's
okay. Let me use the other term. They
Kinda
have
push the
no
balls
testicular
around.
fortitude.
There you go.
They've got no guts.
And they operate in fraud.
And
the
they're
whole system is fraud. It's fraudulent.
and they're fearful. Like I said,
They're yellow.
They're fearful,
And they're fraudulent. It's all operating in fraud, dude.
and they like free things. So this isn't. So we can break this down to their silly ass $2.3 million bridge. They like free things. They don't want to. They're trying.
But
to,
it's not fucking free. Somebody paid for it.
They don't see it that way, or they see it as money that has been stolen from them. That hey, we've got to do everything we can do to get whatever grants that we can get our hands on, so we can get some of our money back.
It's because it's other people's money. If it was their money coming out of their pocket,
Well, it is. But they don't. But they don't see it that way.
If the city council had to pay out of pocket for the law firm that is being hired to take the Robin Hooders to the fucking state Supreme Court,
It would have never gone to. It wouldn't even gone to district.
yeah, they would have been like, nope, done, no,
We don't have.
don't sue.
But they don't see it as their money. They see it as the state's money. And like I said,
Right, it's not coming out of their pocket.
well, it is, but they don't.
Not directly.
But they see it as money that they're trying to get back into our pockets. And at the end of the day, we should never be sending any of our money to the state or to the feds. We should keep it right here in our community.
Are they
and fight
using
fight
city
over it
money
here?
to pay the lawyers or state money?
Good question. Daryl, do you know?
It would be city money.
So if it's city money,
And-
they're all about spending
Well,
as
no.
much as they can,
Well, like,
so they
like,
can
like I
raise
said,
taxes.
ultimately it is city money. But I
Right.
mean,
And
but where does it? Where does it come from? Because yeah,
Property taxes, primarily.
But I mean, but where is it? Where are who is paying the lawyers?
The city.
Okay.
I am fairly certain, and of course, this is something that we can't get the records on yet because it's not over. But I know that when I had sued the city, I was told that there were no documents about paying the attorney because the insurance was covering that. Now, obviously, the insurance isn't going to cover the lawsuit that at the time that these figures came out, when it came out of Superior, was upwards of $25,000. I don't think the insurance is paying all of that. I'm sure there's a deductible and that the city is having to pay anything over that deductible.
Well, also the insurance is going to go up.
Right. The insurance is going to go up. Taxes are going to go up.
And then they cry about that they're running deficits and they don't have the money to pay
Right.
this and
That's
that.
exactly
you need
what
to
they
raise your
want, though.
taxes. Well, right.
They want to raise the taxes in Keene,
'Cause
so
it's
the riffraff
all-
get out of here.
Because it's all
All the juggalos and all the free staters with no jobs.
But in the end, it's all operating on fraud. It's fraud.
Well, yeah,
At its
and
base-
anyone who uses government to their benefit is trying to control other people. And in the case of Keene, you've got some richers who are who don't want the riffraff in their city, and they're gonna do whatever they can. They're gonna hire guys like Fred Parcells to be the code guy to just drive around the fucking town looking for shit. And tonight, we heard that he was finding out a bunch of college kids who had a beer in the room. And the guy who was asking about it, he's like, well, what the fuck? I mean, can he really do that? Of course.
Then meanwhile, when he was a college kid, he was out drinking and having
and
a
probably
good
smoking
time.
and probably smoking
Oh,
a little herb.
yeah. But then now,
But now
He was the hall monitor turning everybody in.
That's actually
with his pants
probably
with his
more
pants hiked up to his nipples.
yeah, right.
Suspenders and a belt to make sure they don't
With
fall
the
down.
sash,
Hold on, I
with the
got-
sash
Well,
coming down.
hello,
Hall
Mr. Fancy
Hall
Pants.
monitor. Yes.
So this is not over. Daryl and if Daryl doesn't, well, I mean, the question is, how many times can this be brought up to city council?
Oh, people can write as many letters as they want. And, of course, I'm not asking them to do an action item. So I know that my letter is going to be taken as informational. I just want it in the agenda.
Yeah.
I just want to make them have to talk about Bearcat again.
I think it's a good plan, and I
Because if
think
it's in the agenda, they have to talk about it, right?
yeah, they have to at least vote on whether it'll be taken under advisement.
Right.
And
that requires public input, right?
Not necessarily public input.
Yeah, not necessarily.
But it does require them to read, correspondence from Daryl W. Perry in regards to the Bearcat.
But it might be beneficial to actually call up whoever wrote the afterwards article in the Sentinel and say, hey, look, by the way, this is going to show up again. Please write something about it and write another letter to the editor afterwards saying, all right, well, hey, look, we took it back to the city council. We gave the Sentinel the opportunity to bring it up beforehand so people can actually get on board and actually go and participate. So, I mean, it's really sad that we have to jump through all these fucking fiery hoops to keep money, to keep our money in our pockets. But this is, what we have to deal with right now.
The Sentinel doesn't publish shit on what's going to happen at city council, which is sad.
Right. I've never seen a city council agenda published in the Sentinel.
Or even just a brief what's going to happen at the city council in 2 days.
But they do talk about it on WKBK in the morning.
Yeah, but who listens to that?
Exactly.
A bunch of people, actually.
Yeah, actually a bunch of people do, and I can't stomach it. I try to. I can actually pick it up on my MP3 player at work inside the dungeon, and I still have a hard time listening to that because that guy, every time it's starting to piss me off, man. Seriously. Really, is it that time?
What did you learn?
Free Rock, what did you learn during the past 7 days?
I don't know. I didn't learn anything. I just don't think I did.
Is the hour over already?
You know what you need to do,
God.
Daryl? Ask us this fucking question at Social Sunday 2 hours ago so we can think about it for 2 hours. We never know this always sneaks up and it gets us. It always sneaks up and attacks us.
X.
You've been thinking about this all week.
X. What did you learn during the past 7 days?
What, the past 7 days?
Within the past week. It used to be during the show, but then somebody complained that he needed more time to learn things. And so, in the past week.
at me!
Well, right now, this world is a circus. It's a fucking circus.
Did you learn that this week?
Well, over the past
because he's going to ask you.
Weeks and months and years, it's a circus. Again, as far as like things that are going on currently.
Speaking of city council, that would have been a good one to talk about.
Iron Man 3.
That's what the fuck
If
you
anyone's
learned
seen
this
Iron
week.
Man 3, think of Iron Man 3 and think of what's going on in the Middle East right now.
Think of Iron Man 3 and think of Ben Kingsley's
role in Iron Man 3 and what's going on in the Middle East.
And think ISIS.
But that being said,
and think beheadings.
Yes.
And think ISIS and think Iron Man
just
3.
the whole all their
Archer's
photos
gonna
and all
screw
the
that
bullshit
shit up, man.
But at the same time, there are real people trained, and there's they're gonna they can stage all this stuff again. But here's what's coming up: is they're gonna maximize fear. I know this is what I know. Normally.
They gotta get
the freaking, and you guys don't like to get this, but you know what? You got X on the show now. You got to deal with this right now.
What about a starting wars? War starting conspiracy.
They're gonna maximize the fear factor, and they're gonna and like the story.
Evil!
Again, that's my boy, but so. What we talked about at at Social Sundays, which obviously the people don't know, but like my friend.
So just all right, dude. Just
Should I tell that story?
Yeah, tell us about your friend in the
my
bushes, because no one knows.
It's a long story. So fine. So right after
it's not a long story. You can tell in 2 minutes.
I can, even though it's a longer story. But okay. So anyways, my friend right after 911. So. You understand the fear. Right after 911, everyone was like scared of everything. So my buddy, I was living in Madison, and all my friends were back home in Milwaukee, and they were all smoking And then one of my friends.
Admit you're stoned. How much pot are you smoking right now?
God, he knows. That's like good. He knows where all the what are those called? The
sound drops.
The sound drops are.
I haven't been good this night, actually.
So the story involves two friends. So one of my like good buddies and my other friend. One of my other friend had to go home. So my other good buddy was like, "Yeah, I'll take you back to your car." So as he takes him back to his car after smoking bong rips, like the other dude like started like tripping out, like he eventually claimed it was food poisoning. So all of a sudden he's in the car. So what was supposed to be like a couple minute trip to drop him off at the car and then come back home ended up being like, I got to take you to the hospital and all this shit. So he takes him to the hospital. Now en route to the hospital, all of a sudden my good buddy that's driving is all of a sudden seeing like Arab car drivers like following him and like all this stuff. And then he's got my friend, my other buddy, sitting in there like tripping out, like I'm gonna die, all this stuff. So again, with the fear, I like this. So as the fear that's going on, he's tripping out. So he takes him to the hospital. And then also my buddy's like, no, I don't have to go to the hospital anymore. So he takes him back, and he's just like, now my other buddy's like tripping out. So he finally drops him off. So the long story short is, like I said, so my good buddy thought my other friend was involved in a bomb plot to bomb the hospital, aligned with other Arab cab drivers that are like that he's supposedly seeing following him all over. And then he finally drops him off, and then like and I'm not even telling the story good because like I'm telling it like, but like, so eventually my friend like gets out of his car and he's like hiding in the bushes of people's front yards. So eventually, like, my other friends at home who were smoking weed with these guys were like, where the fuck is...
What kind of stuff what were you smoking? Were you smoking spice?
Dude.
Or was you just...
The one dude, he's like, he stopped smoking weed for years after that because, like, he blamed this whole situation on weed when it was...
So he's in the bushes.
I blame it on the whole fear. But anyway, so they're like, dude, where's Sean? Like, I won't say his name, even though I just said, I was like, where is he? Like, it was supposed to be a few minute like car. Like, where the fuck is he? So they go out and start looking for him. And by this time, he's already back. And all of a sudden, they're driving through the neighborhoods, and all of a sudden, they see this like dude darting from like bushes to bushes in front of people's houses, and they pull up, and they're like, hey, what are you doing? And they're like, and it's like, and they start, they're all laughing, like, what the fuck are you doing? And like, get in the car, let's go back home, let's get in the back. And he's like, no. He's like, I won't get in your car. He wouldn't get back in the car until he opened the trunk and searched for bombs. So
I have 2 words for you: predator drones.
I don't know how this translates to people. So the whole thing is, the long story short is, my friend was going to take my other friend to the hospital, but then he saw like supposedly Arab cab drivers. So he thought there was a bomb plot with Arab cab drivers with my friend, with my high school friend in the car with him. He thought he was involved somehow in a bomb plot to bomb a hospital that...
The bottom line is 9/11. It instills fear in everyone.
It instills fear, and they act irrationally, completely irrationally. Where it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? So I've experienced it firsthand. Cause like, well, okay, secondhand. Cause all my friends call me like, dude, what's up with your boy? Like, so this happened.
And he might have smoked some bad weed.
Well, regardless of that, but
or something that was laced.
By smoking that weed, he connected into the, so the point is, all the stuff you see in the news now with all the again, with the ISIS and the Ebola and the Ukraine and the this and the that and the this and that, it's just constant chaos being thrown at you to instill fear.
So we can buy
and
more
they want
Bearcats.
Irrational thought, irrational fear. So
we buy more Bearcats.
no, so keep your head over, keep a level head on your shoulders. Understand that it's being generated. I know a lot of people around here don't like to think of conspiracies, but it's order out of chaos. It is calculated. Not everything, but most things are, and this is.
Hey guys at home and listening, thanks
Fun
for
stuff.
watching.
Fun
Thanks for
stuff.
listening. Check us out, blacksheeprising.org. That's where all the archives are. The show notes are there as well. You can check us out on iTunes and on Stitcher. And hey, go to the Facebook page and give us a like. And if you would like us to talk about certain things, maybe there's a conspiracy that you haven't heard that
If
you'd
you
like
want
us
to
to
hear
talk about.
more stories from me.
If you like X and you like the direction he went in this evening, leave us a comment at the old Facebook page, and maybe we'll have him back on. X, you are welcome back. We just need to get
I
you.
would like to come back
We just
more
need to
often.
get you more drunk.
More drunk. Well, honestly, tonight, you know what? In recent weeks, like seriously, things have been. I just like. Normally, I'm in a better mood, but like actually, in recent weeks, I've been kind of in an ordinary mood.
We heard that you are having. You're a perfectionist painter, and that some people don't notice the perfection, and they just want to pay for a shit job. And you're not actually offering shit jobs. You're actually offering good quality work, and they don't want to pay for it.
Well, again, okay, people want to the world's going to hell in a handbasket. You know what? People would rather accept mediocrity than demand excellence. So
some people are like that.
It's all about the bottom line. So here we have bankers literally stealing.
X, what are you doing?
Literally,
I gotta go, man. X, you can come back on, man. You can tell us about it. I gotta cut you, man. I gotta cut you.
Okay,
I'm gonna cut your mic.
Look,
I'm gonna pull.
crowd.
Cut you.
Everybody's like they're like on the edge of their seat. They're just waiting to hear what I was about to say.
Tune in next time.
I'm gonna cut you.
That X is on, and he'll tell you more stories.
If you would like to get in contact with me, email me at show@blacksheeprising.org. You can also email voicemail 267-521-2771. That's it. Daryl, fpp.cc.
Yep.
Free Rock, Wednesday nights, 10 o'clock.
Wednesday nights, 6 o'clock.
Ooh, it changed. Or did it?
You're at 10 o'clock.
I'm at 10 o'clock. I'm sorry. Go.
6 o'clock, Cheshire TV, Live Free or Die Chronicles every Wednesday night.
And Cop Block.
Cop Block is at 10 p.m. at LRN.FM, and my other project is Liberty Bits, which you can find on YouTube and Facebook, both /Liberty Bits.
Outstanding. You can't get a hold of X because he's not on Facebook or anywhere.
I'm the intrastate man of mystery, and our CD's coming out in the next few months, so I will.
Come back on.
Be back.
Come back on. We'll plug it. We'll probably play it on the in the exit in the outro music if you would like. You got good shit, right?
I do, but I don't have anything on hand to give you.
No. Oh, yeah, whenever you're ready.
He's not saying tonight. He's saying next time.
Tonight, we are going to close on 10-second music guy. How does he put his... How is it? Let's bring this up.
Oh, that dude.
10-second takes on In the End, which is a Linkin Park song, which I'm not really crazy about. They're not horrible. But this guy does 10-second takes in different... Every 10 seconds is a different style. And I liked the first one he did, and there was a couple in between that were kind of shitty. This one's really fucking good. It's really neat. The best thing you can do is don't actually watch this video to see what genres or bands he's actually taking advantage of. Listen to it with the video off and see if you can guess which bands he's emulating. He does a slam up job.
Are you going to give away a prize if people get it right?
Yeah, how am I going to prove that they got it right? How am I going to prove they weren't looking at the video when it played?
You're not. So stop telling people what the fuck to do when they listen to the video.
I'm just saying the next time one of these songs comes out, I'm going to turn my head. I'm going to see if I can't guess, because there's only two emulations that I think are not spot on and that I would never guess. But the other ones are really, really good. So anyways, 10-second songs. This is In the End by Linkin Park. Guys at home, thanks for watching. We will see you next time at the same time. Good night.
It starts with one thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is the fire of my pain. Watch the fire line as the pendulum swings. Watch the gas down to the end of the day. The back takes fire away. So bad. Look down below. As the time goes round the window, trying to hold on, didn't even know. Wasted it all just to find you. Kept everything inside, didn't even know I tried. It all fell apart, and what I meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. Said in the end, it doesn't even matter. Yeah. Keep that in mind, I decided to remind myself how I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property. Remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so far. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you know me back then. When it all comes back to me, sure. You kept everything inside, even though we tried. It all fell apart. What happened to me? What happened to be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far. In the end, doesn't even matter. Had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I put my trust in you. Pushed as far as I can go. Pushed as far as I can go. There's only one thing you should know. There's only one thing you should know. Trust in you. Pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, doesn't even fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. In the
The fuck are you talking about, Free Rock? Daryl, talk to me.
So you're
James Cleveland campaign platform. YOLO swag 420 blaze it.
The bullshit. It's like the official story. It's like
Daryl, keep talking.
what part of the official
Hashtag
story are
YOLO
we talking
swag. Hashtag YOLO
I just walked
swag.
into this midway conversation. So
That's the
Hashtag
thing,
YOLO
it's like,
swag.
hey, I
Free,
take
Free
a-
Rock, talking to your mic.
Hashtag YOLO swag 420
Yo.
blaze it.
Stop talking, Daryl. Free Rock.
Yay. We're talking.
Talking,
and,
talk
you
your,
know,
keep
that's how
talking
it
your
is.
hate.
What?
Keep talking your anti-conspiratorial.
Well, first you need
9/11
some
was-
fucking proof, and then first you need to figure out how to shut shit off, which you obviously couldn't do with Detcord or remotely because fucking electronics get screwed if they're applied to heat, and Detcord just burns like plastic. So you'd have no way of setting them off. They would have been set off 10 hours earlier if that was the case.
X, what do you got?
911 is an inside job.
Yeah.
With no proof.
No, he didn't
Dude,
say 911. He said 911. That's the emergency telephone, whatever you
Hold
call
on,
the cops.
let X talk. I got to get this thing right.
This is what happens when you call the cops.
Shut up, let X talk.
There's plenty of proof. You just said that there's no proof, and we haven't even talked yet. So that's kind of a immature statement. But yeah, clearly this is going to be a colorful conversation.
We're not talking about 9/11.
And the thing is, 9/11, like to me, that's old hat. Like the fact that people are still like they still haven't figured it out. Come on.
Oh,
that was 13 years ago.
Yeah, that's why no one wants it. And that's what they succeeded.
Been there, done that. And if you haven't figured it out, like seriously.
The point is, it just gets crazier by the minute.
Fucking timers. How do they work? There's miracles all around you.
Shut that fucking dog up. Uh-oh, what's going on here? There we go.